Okay, guys. I know that there's different time zones, so if you guys don't come in and I'm just talking, I really want to talk about Kyland this episode. Ah, and I want to talk about Kyland, and I want to talk about Hey Blood, talk about Kyland, and I want to talk about Mariah today. And even James, I want to also bring in there now. So, of course, it was sweet in the beginning with Melissa. Um, It was sweet at the beginning when Melissa was like, let the picture, let the letter to Kylan. Hey, welcome. How you doing, baby? Welcome, welcome up here. It was sweet that she did that. But at the same time, I didn't really think about it that Kylan literally was attached to the hip. Not to the hip, I don't want to say it like that, but, his game was attached to Melissa's game, so to speak, they were couples. Just like her and my girl, Big T. The one thing I would say about Kylan that I'm impressed by Kylan tonight because when he was on Big Brother, I rooted for Kylan a lot. But with the cookout, because they was in a group, it is difficult to find out, who does what because you're working together collectively and it's not an individual situation. You understand? So even though when Kylan first did a challenge, it seemed like he struggled a bit. Even the cookout was still there because Tiffany Allen was still there. In this one, I'm like, I want to see what Colin is going to bring, what he's going to do. And even in the beginning, with him being attached to Melissa, still was kind of like, okay, we're still seeing not like group, but kind of. But today, we saw Colin. I feel like that we saw Colin because just the way it was all set up for him, where he felt like everybody was against him. Him, Horatio, and Jay. Jay has always played this way. And one of the things I will say that I feel like it's part of the reason why Jay has not been a champion, in my opinion, is because the way he's been playing. You got your hand up, baby. Go ahead. I want to hear your opinion, Sweetie. What's going on?
Hello, can anyone hear me?
I can hear you. Go right ahead.
All right, Mama, did you saw this mid-trailer season just now?
I did, yes.
What do you think of the mid-season trailer? They teased something big, but I know that CT is going to be here at some point.
He's going to be here, but I don't think they're going to bring him when we think it's going to happen. We still got Kyra who has not come. So we have a women's elimination, probably the next one. I believe we're going to see Kyra Maria in this next elimination. I do believe that.
I
But I,
think they're gonna, s-
huh? What'd you say?
I think they're gonna send Laurel first. Cara would be last.
You think Kyra be last? Okay, okay.
No, Cara would be the last female.
The last female. Okay, so what I'm saying, I want to get back to as far as the episode. What did you think
Mhm.
about in the beginning? Kylan is feeling like everyone's against him, so to speak. He's investigating, figuring out. He tried so hard to win. He did not win the challenge. That he didn't win it, but he knew. So when it was all in the huddle, and Horatio was fighting for Kylan, Jay was quiet. How did you feel about that?
I think Jay wanted to say Kylan from the get-go
Mm.
because you have to understand, Kylan and Melissa are attached to each other. Once Melissa's gone, Kylan's the next one
Ah.
because
Mm. Mm. Yes, continue.
because she's still attached to Melissa no matter what. Because Kylan is basically quote unquote on the UK side,
Okay. Ooh.
even though I don't see it, but because she's attached to Melissa no matter what. So Kylan is basically guilty by association.
Wow. Wow, that's deep. That is so deep. I didn't even think about the hey Jai. That's crazy. So Kylan associated with Melissa. I see what you're saying. So if somebody's in the alliance and you get rid of one, you get rid of the other. It's like you did Melissa and Big T, and so they were going for Kylan as well. So probably if they had got rid of Kylan, they probably went after Horatio because you already hear Mariah. So let's talk about the Mariah. We'll get back to Kylan. Let's talk about the Mariah situation. So with the Mariah situation,
Mhm.
she really is fighting hard for James. And to me, I think it's not really good for her game. First of all, you with Johnny Bananas, one of the big wigs. You go on a show and start dating somebody else. Of course, it's your right. Y'all are not married, but you're getting upset because every time a vet comes in, they're calling you out. How is it that you didn't figure out that Johnny Bananas is part of the big situation? All those people are his people. So he's going to come in there to see you all hugged up or what? Because, understanding as they're coming in, their show is playing. So they're watching the episodes like we're watching it. And they're like, oh, she all hugged up with James. But guess what? I got picked to be the champion to go in today. So when I go in, Johnny Bananas, I'm going to tell her something, something. Because they're all talking. They're friends. Over 20-year friendships.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, for her to get upset, it doesn't make any sense. Mariah, you, and again, it's her decision to do that. But one of the things that Tori said is we all thought you were coming to play a game. Instead, you are having a romance because she has completely tarnished her game, in my opinion. You have literally thrown away your game over a man. And to me, when James was on the bicycle, riding the bicycle, if you recall, he was kind of like, I really don't want to hear it. She was trying to, kind of, I want to say maybe make him feel better, like, you're my man or whatever. But he was kind of like, whatever happens, it happens. I don't think he would do the same thing for her. That's my issue with their situation. You have girls like Olivia and Nuri who have your back and known you for years, but you're going to throw all that away for a man you just met in his house? Come on. Now, what do you think about that?
I think Mariah willing to go so far just for James because technically they're not in a relationship. That's all we
Okay.
know.
Hmm.
Because Mariah knows, will she willing to go so far to the end, even though with James, knowing that the UK alliance is already losing.
Okay.
Who are the UK people has still there? James and Zara. And Mariah is in an alliance that is already in a sinking
Hmm.
ship. Why she would jump ship to a ship that's already sinking?
Gotcha. Wow. Well, all I'm trying to say is that I feel like that, she's pretty much just going into a game for like this is perfect love, this is dating game, or this is bachelor. You know what I'm saying? And not going in to
Hmm.
play, and will be upset if they choose to put her up. She's so quick to say, "Well, I'm going to Horatio now," and it's like you're talking about going against Horatio. Do you think that Olivia, then Nuri, and whoever everybody else in the house will not line up and go against you? Even Berna, who's acting a plum fool today. Let's talk about Berna real quick. Okay. Let me say this.
Yeah, I want to know.
Look, Berna, to me, and I don't care how broken her English is, I understand where she's coming from. She's acting like that. I guess outside the house before they came in, her and Michelle were super close. That whatever, and they were friends, which is fine. I think she's not being fair to Melissa. In my opinion, I don't. I mean Melissa. I'm sorry, to Michelle. I don't think she's being fair to Michelle, and the reason why I'm gonna tell you is because Michelle is playing the game actually very well. She's in her own zone. It's self preservation at the end of the day. So she has actually protected Berna. In fact, a lot of people in the house have protected Berna in this season. So I'm trying to understand why is she acting jealous and weird and talking about you all up Olivia's ass. I'm like, what is your deal? Like, are y'all in a relationship or is that your friend? She does not have to do anything for you, and she has done plenty. So even your friends in the house, ASAP was like, she's getting on my nerves. She always explodes and does these things and jeopardizes her game and also her friends around her. What's your opinion about Berna? Because she acted crazy tonight.
Oh, I think Berna is on the bottom of Michelle's alliance. If Berna assumed that if Michelle thinks that she is her number one, Olivia and Ruiz as her top, the top of the food chain. Where does
Hmm.
Berna stand in Michelle's alliance, the US alliance?
All right, fine.
Bottom of the barrel.
Hang on,
And
baby.
Berna knew that would Michelle say her name the moment the first chance she get?
Burner. Oh, to my
Ah,
burner.
yes.
No, no,
Yeah,
no. But
Berna.
Burner was no. I said Burner was being like she's jealous, like a friend, like her friend
Yeah.
left her. And what I'm saying is, Michelle's been working behind the scenes. Michelle's had a toxic game over the time, and so she's got to really, to me, she's really doing a good job. So you know, again, she's helped burn her out plenty of times. Anyway, welcome, Chief. You up here, King? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, first time
Good,
here.
good.
What's your opinion
Yep.
about the episode, baby? What you got to think? What you got to say?
Because first of all, I'm glad I found my people because I'm glad I want to talk finally the Challenger because I've been watching the challenge. Like I know I'm new. I just got around watching Challenger around 2020,
Okay,
but I watch all the older seasons, so I've caught up with
perfect,
everything now.
perfect.
So my thoughts on this episode.
Hmm.
First of all, everybody in this show is so unlikable, boring, and don't look like they want to compete except for three people, and that's Olivia, Ed, and Horacio. Also, Mache and Jill, they wonder why they don't win every season, but they do stupid shit like that. Stupid, dumb game decisions. Also, Mariah, I hope this is a wake up call for her to realize that her Lions does not have her back. Because think about how easy it was for them to say James's name right there.
First of all, Chief, I am happy you found me. I really hope you come back. We do this every week because I love. First of all, you're awesome. I love how you just your talk. You found really good here on Day by Day is here. I'm looking for you, baby. So
Nah,
anyway,
I'm gonna follow you.
oh
I'll
yeah,
follow you.
perfect. So Chief, thank you and welcome. We mute in between. We just so everybody can talk. But I love both of your opinions because as a man, I want to ask you guys a question. When you saw James riding when he was on the escalator, whatever the workout thing, and Mariah's coming to him in the bathing suit, like I'm fighting for you, all this and that. Do you think that James, real talk, answer me, Chief? Do you think James would do the same thing if he was in that position?
No.
Period.
To be honest, like it's looking like. To be honest, it's looking like. Well, I don't know how like James seems more laid back than Mariah is, so I don't know how. But that's how it comes. But to be honest, it's coming off as she loves him more than he loves her, and I'm not gonna lie. I get what she's trying to do because like everybody's on her ass because like she's with this dude, whatever. But it's like y'all are hooking up people, saving them, and all that other stuff, blah blah blah. But at the same time, um, I wanted James out. Like I kind of wanted James to. I was happy when his name got said because y'all want to vote out the strong people so the final could be easier for you guys. Like you guys want to run the final with hard people because there's gonna be that moment where it happens every final where y'all gonna run with partners, but then halfway through T's gonna tell you guys are on your own. And he said there's only one champion. This at the start of the season, there's only one champion. Doesn't matter if it's guy or girl. So that should tell you, like if there's a chance, you're just shortening your chances of winning having a strong player like James. Because so far James has proven he's been a strong player. So I'm happy. Like okay, finally they got somebody strong. Like they're nominating somebody strong in there that could possibly
Right.
beat them in a fight.
But no, you're making
And
a lot
also,
of sense. Go ahead, King. I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
no, you did. But also, but at the same time, like, I get what they're talking about because Mariah, bro, you really are kind of like you going a little bit overboard for it or for this game because I don't know because you kind of just met this man while you were just filming the challenge
Period.
and this you no longer. So I do admit she's kind of is going over her boundaries a little bit with this game. But at the same time, I also commend her because she's not following that whole alliance because that alliance is annoying the fuck out of me.
Okay. You know what? Okay, Chief. You know what? I'm gonna meet you right there. Okay, so I get what you're saying. She's kind of going to the beat of her own drum. At the same time, I say this: in this type of situation, if you're gonna go that route, you better make sure you win everything. Because what's going to happen is, and you up there slapping your ass like, "Ooh, girl," and okay, but make sure that you got that same energy. If cause next time it's gonna be a girls' day. We had a dudes' day this time. It's going to be a girls' day. And guess who the girls who have most of the control, who have been running the house, are going to say? Just as you said, as easy as was for them to say James, it would be just as easy as for the house for them to say Mariah. Because how many times am I going to have your back? Nuri has brought this up about James since episode 1. We can go back to episode 1 when she was already noticing, and I was too, how she was capping so much for James, where I said she's going to tarnish her game. And because she's getting so upset because the vets are coming in and calling her out, just like me and my son said earlier, I said that in real talk, you can't get mad at that. You came in the house to play. These guys have been 20-year friendship, and Johnny Bananas is sitting at the house. They're all watching you cuddle up with some man. What do you think is going to happen? Like real talk. I don't get the pissed off. And just girl, please. Because that's my boy. I'm coming in to do a champion. I'm gonna talk shit too. Like, oh, you do. Tori read her to fulfill, baby. She couldn't take it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like Mariah. I really do like Mariah. But it's like Mariah, bro. Like, people are gonna talk shit about your relationship, like regardless, or whoever you fucking with, regardless. So like, you feeling some type of way about it? It's like, bro, that's just the game. Like, that really is just the game. That really is. But
But
that's the thing. I like Mariah. I think Mariah's a strong
she
player.
okay.
But
She is strong, baby. But the thing about it, when you are a champion, you gotta take all that. What I mean by
yeah,
taking all of it, I'm saying like just like the girl saying, the vets are messy. No shade. They had their messy moments, but they can go in there and they know I can back it up. If I'm gonna do all this talk, this mess, I'm gonna have to win everything. That's what it is. Raven, who is a great champion in training, who will be a champion, as you can see, she do number winning. When the first beginning of the season started, they were already messing with her. You know what I'm saying? But with Raven, she knows if I don't just win, I'm going down. She said that, and she's done nothing but win. You have to have the type of mentality. If you think you're a target, you have no other trouble but to win. Mariah is just kind of like, oh, I have an alliance, but ooh, y'all piss me off. So I'm gonna save my man because y'all ain't gonna save my man. Like all that was just like, girl, that's not what we decided. That means you don't have my back. To me tonight was a really, really bad move. And she's not a rookie. She's a champion in training. These guys have done this more than one time. She's not like new to this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
but
that she
Raven though. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that Mariah's messing up. But go ahead, Raven. What baby?
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. But thing is, Raven though, I feel like Raven was better last season because, like, to me, like, I still agree with everything you say about Raven because she's strong, she can back it up. I feel like um Raven what the fuck? No, I feel like as far as the Melissa situation, I feel like she was in the wrong with that one. Like that was really kind of like just personal, and I feel like sometimes you can't really do personal attacks, but it's whatever. But also like Mariah, yeah, like Mariah's a strong competitor and all that shit, but I feel she's one of those players where it's like she has her heart more in the game than her head.
Okay,
You
well
know what I'm
she hold on, but she blood, you there, baby? I call him my son. Blood money, you there? I don't know if he lost his mic.
Uh, yes,
But
yes.
okay, because you didn't say nothing. Okay, so one of the things I want you guys, we want to go back to was Kylan. I want to get you guys opinion about Kylan. I feel like Kylan was pushed against the wall, and he showed up and showed out his big one tonight. I'm so proud of Kylan because they counted Kylan out. Even the champion was like, "These ain't no champions." You know what I'm saying? He wiped the floor with him with that stuff, and I just want to get your opinion about it. So, Blood Money, what's your opinion about it? Then, Chief, I want to hear yours.
Okay. So the elimination is you have to steer the wheel and ignite the fire. Again, okay, they send out Darrell, first of all, who is a four-time champ, who is a believable champ. I think I thought that Kylan's going to lose to Darrell, but Darrell's beatable. Darrell can be beaten on any given day. And Kylan shows that he can beat Darrell, but the real question, can he beat someone like CT? That's the main question. Can he beat CT? Can he beat Brad? You don't know, but if he can do it, Kylan can.
Go ahead, Chief. What's up, man? Go ahead, Chief. Chief.
Oh wait,
Okay.
hold on. What happened? I'm sorry.
No, no. He spoke, and I want to hear your opinion about Kylan coming in and being targeted and kicked ass tonight because he was
I'm not
completely
gonna lie.
targeted the whole
I
night.
fuck with it. I really do fuck with it. I really do because to me, Kylan's one of those underrated players. Like he's smart and he's got the like agility, like the physical part. I feel like we haven't seen that yet. Like it hasn't been unlocked yet, but I feel like we will. But he's very very smart, which I got to give him his credit for. But and also like I don't like how they was pick. I feel like they saw him as a weak link, which is kind of weird because Kylan has kind of performed better than a lot of y'all this season. Like, let's be real. Kylan has performed, he's actually won some challenges, and so it is kind of weird. And also, um, speaking of Kylan too, it's like Jay. That's the whole point of the Jay thing. Why I think Jay is so weak. I'm like, bro, you're Kylan was basically in the same position you were when you first came in. and Kyland's not even whining at all about it. How you did. Like, let's be real. When Jay first came in, told man he was whining how he was getting nominated. But at the same time, Jay, Kyland's performed better than you your first rookie season. I'm not gonna hold you. And you like targeting him. That's why it proves it's like, bro, you're like that's kind of the reasons why you don't win, Jay. But Kylan, I feel like he's definitely underrated. I feel like he's got a lot to his potential. I do feel like sometimes he's kind of naive, especially when it comes to Melissa. But yeah, I feel like he's one of the better challengers of out of out of all the people.
Yeah, okay, so I'll say that I feel like that. Nicole, I think that you followed me, but it's for some reason it's pending for my request for yours or something like that. So anyway, and welcome. So my opinion, like you said, he's underrated. And again, I say that, hey Miguel Boo Boo, I say that he's underrated. And also with Kylan, because I said before earlier, y'all weren't here, that because he was part of the cookout, it was a big mission he was on. He was part of a group, and I always felt like I want to see all the cookout individually on different games to see how they move. Because when you move as a group, whether it's I did track and everything, so you can hide in a group. It's no shade to nobody. I'm just saying I did track and basketball. When you play as a group, you can see individual, but you kind of blend in as a group. When you do an individual thing, you can see what you can do. And I feel like this season, Collins kind of coming through and like, look, I ain't got time for this. Darrell says these don't even look like challenges to me. Like who even says that? So for them to even make a comment like that, and for him to wipe the floor with him, it's just he was so frustrated. And the fact that they all want to throw him in, it was such a redemption. Not only we kept $10,000 of our coin, right? I beat a champion, something that nobody here could do. He was the only one. This is what I'm saying. They're not even looking like that. To me, I would be, as a player in the rest of the game, I would be concerned. I'd be very concerned if I was them because Kylan, if I was him, baby, I'm coming for Jay. I'm so serious.
Oh
I
yeah,
would
every
really come for
time,
Jay
every
every
time, bro.
time, baby, every time because Jay when he was in that group and they was sitting there and they was talking. It was like, okay, who do you want to do, Jay? Jay, hello, and he's being quiet. Horatio was looking at him like, bro, what's good? You're not even saying anything. Like to me, that was a weak moment for Jay. And like you said, this is why his game has been the way it has. It's a snaky move. I don't get it, bro. You couldn't have stand on it and said, no, I'm not gonna say Horatio. Everybody has a moment in the game where it's like I'm gonna stand on it. Yes, I get y'all want to all do it, but I'm not gonna say his name. I gave my word. Period. I'm just gonna stand on that. What you gonna do? Put me in? I won. So he's my boy. I'm not gonna do it. Why couldn't it have been that? I don't get it, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm just really proud of him and what he did because he had to do it. He would have gone home right behind him, just like Blood Money said. He said that because of Melissa, they felt like they had to get rid of Kylan. And like I said, was if Kylan was actually gone, it would have been Horatio next because those girls are in the house. And like I said, this next elimination will be a girls' one. And I already know Mariah's name is going to be coming up in the situation because you were so crazy over this man who I do not think would do the same for you. If he was put in the same spot as far as his game, he would not choose to, oh, I'm gonna say, because he's still part of the UK. She don't get it. That American and UK alliance is a real thing. And
Yeah.
I just don't think she realizes it's gonna bite her in the butt. What do you
Hell,
think?
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. To me, to be honest, I think Mariah would just be close to herself because at this point, it's looking 50-50 for her. Like, first of all, if I really hope, like, in this, like, in the nomination, I hope Mariah had a wake up call. Like, bro, them girls don't fuck with you for real. Because they said you told them don't say somebody who I'm fucking with's name. And they said it anyway. So, like, that should prove right there they don't have your back. And worst comes to shove, they're going to say your nigga's name because clearly you're at the bottom of that fucking list. But, and also, same with James. Like, I feel like even though they say that like he makes James fun and shit. To be honest, I fuck with Bananas. Her fucking with Bananas more than James. Because first of all, Bananas is a fucking 7-time champion. Like let's just be honest. Like despite how we feel how Bananas is, he's a 7-time champ. He's the most wins out of any challenge champ for his. He's one of my favorites. To be honest with you, because the man can do it all. He's physical. He's smart, and He's physically smart and he's proven to win all. Like, there's a reason why he's a 7-time champ. Like, you, Mariah, you was better fucking with him last season than you fucking with James. James has proven he's a good player. James is a strong player. But I don't know if it's like beneficial for you to stick around, especially with the Lions, the girls you have a friendship with outside the game. And like I said, y'all, if y'all want to eliminate strong players to get out the final, because that's what all the great challenges did. They got rid of all the strong players first. And that's why I was happy James is with them. And I was like, what makes you think James if the UK won't say James's name? Or won't say like your name or anybody in your alliance name. So I think Mariah's in a pretty like I don't know. If I was her, I'll just watch my back from both sides. That's just me.
Well, for me, I understand what you're saying about that, but I think James eventually can be that type of. He could be a champion or whatever, like John Bananas is.
Wait,
But
is
right
that
now,
so?
yeah, it is. It is right now. Right now that I did send you an invite, Kylan. Right now, he is not there yet. But again, I'm going to say this. I feel like that in this episode, I feel like that Kylan really. Well, okay. Let me say this. I call this season not the rookie season. I call this challenges in training. Is what I call it. And I actually feel like, hey, Kylan, what's going on, bro?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh,
What up,
we were
Kylan? Hey,
just
bro, congrats tonight, bro. Really appreciate it. Good job.
Thank you. I
Yo, what's up,
appreciate
yes,
it.
guy?
yes, Kylan. I just said I'm so proud. I said I love the way you handled the whole situation. I said not only did you go in there and just kill it, you investigated. That's my favorite part of it.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
It's how you investigated to figure out who was on your side. And I just love the way you moved this entire episode. Very strategic, very smart. And, the fact that the whole thing at the end was very frustrating, I will admit. The balance, I want to ask you about that. It looked very frustrating. I know people's yelling at you and saying things or whatever, but
Yeah.
was that distracting you? Because you and my son had the same, he has the same stuff. So I'm saying, was that distracting you while you were trying to concentrate on the actual events?
No, I would say I'm actually really good at like tuning out, depending on like when I have something specific. Actually, let me take that back. I can't tune out in the sense of not listen. Like that's actually one of my. It's a pro and con of like how my brain works. Is that it's if I can understand words, it's really hard for me to not hear it. But I'm pretty good at not letting it actually distract me. So like I could hear everything they were saying and just knew how useless it was, which like wasn't their fault. It just was one of those things that's like, I know I don't have the time or even necessarily the ability to articulate how this thing works in a way that is going to help you guys give me advice. So you guys just keep talking and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Like that was all I could really do.
Right. It seemed. Hold on, baby. It seemed like I want to ask you this real quick though. In the first part of the beginning, you seem a bit frustrated this episode, and legit, you really should have been frustrated. It just seemed like Melissa's gone, and even the little speech you gave, but throughout it, you just seemed like I want to get your thoughts because you just look. I'm not saying mad. I mean frustrated and focused. I want to say like because a lot of things were happening. Your lady that you care about a lot has left. Okay, now you're being targeted. People you thought was for you or not. Like, tell me that about that headspace.
Yeah, I'm trying to transfer back in a little bit. I would say that I don't know. I feel like it was one of those things where, like I came into the house and I only really had spent any time with like Olivia and Horacio and a little bit with Nerys. So like I was like, I know that these people are probably for me coming in. And then when we got there, they were like, yo, part of our 6, ride or die, Mariah, Jay, Michelle, like they got us. And I was like, really? Because like I feel like every season Michelle and Jay are like super untrustworthy, and they're like, no, 100%. And then I was just asking them along the way, like, they don't give me good vibes. Like I can trust them. I actually like them as people, but I just was like, in this game, like I don't get any sense I can trust them. And they're like, no, they got us. They rocked with us in Ride or Dies. They got us. So I was like, okay, I have no choice because I don't know anybody else here. I was the only person in the entire show who had never played with anyone else. Every single person in that season had played at least one season with someone else in the house except for me. So I was like, all right, I can't be in here alone, so I got to lean on these people, and they're telling me that we can work with them. So that's why, like, I was hesitant, like you said, with that investigating. I just was like, all right, Zara, I know she's coming after me. We're already because like the Melissa thing, there was a whole stuff that happened that wasn't really shown, but like their dynamic got bad after that, like a soft vote. So I was like, she's pretty upfront though. So I was like, hey, I already know you said my name. That's fine. How did the rest of it go? Because like you have no reason to lie to me because we're pretty upfront. And she's like, and that's when she told me, she's like, yeah, it was literally just. And I knew Horacio as well. I just didn't. He was busy, so I didn't get to talk to him. So um, that was why I talked to Zara just to get the information. Then I was like, dang, all right, cool. So then when I asked Horacio and he confirmed it, I was like, yo, like, it is one of those things that was disappointing but not surprising. So then it just became a matter of like, if anything, I'd say the frustration kind of came more from, you see people that are working like for their, like, you see Corey working for that alliance, Raven working for that alliance, Colleen working for that alliance. And it's like, didn't they just put all of you guys in? Like, haven't they already shown you how they really prioritize you or not? But you guys are still just going to keep doing their bidding. Like, that feels weird to me. But, we'll see how. I think that was more frustrating, but it made sense because nobody there besides Jay and Michelle had played actual games. Like they all came from other shows that aren't like really games. I mean, kind of Colleen, I guess, but that was a different game, not on the same level as like a Survivor. So I feel like that was something I noticed. Is like, oh my god, these people can't think past today. So none of them are making strategic decisions for anything with any foresight, and that's kind of hard to deal with.
Wow. Chief, what were you going to say to Kyland? I know you had something you want to say, Chief. What was
No,
go ahead.
I was saying Kylan was like my favorite episode because I feel like Kylan, you're the only one who's standing up to Jay, bro. Like, finally somebody said Jay's bullshit. Like, and this is the thing. I used to like Jay when Jay first came into Total Madness. He was like one of the best upcoming challengers and all this stuff. But, like, over the season, like, bro just got worse because like his game has become very shitty, and he proves why, and he wonders why he doesn't win. And this is why, bro. You make dumb decisions. So like, I'm finally glad somebody stood up to his fuckery. Like, to be honest.
Thanks.
Wow. So that's speaking of Jay. So did that really just kind of like was like really got you like, you know what, I know what it is and I know what I got to do.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
You okay.
it pretty much was. It was the only thing that was difficult there was Nerys, because Nerys and Jay just had such a tight relationship. So, and not like extended outside the game. And for years back, I think they did another show before. So it was kind of one of those things where I'm like, damn, like, it was one of those things too where I was like, well, we should be able to find some common ground. That I think that I didn't have the understanding coming into the house of how tight the other relationships were. Like Asaf and Jay, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't find out that for a while. I didn't know Jay and Emmanuel. Like, I didn't know how close these other relationships were. So for me, I just was like, yo, Nerys, you and Jay are locked in. So, and you have the same girls that I have. Like, Olivia and Nerys are like the only girls I really cared about by that point in the game. So I was like, if Michelle, you're telling me these are your number one girls, Jay, you're telling me these are your number one girls, why don't we just focus on this small group? Not like, rather than trying to work with everybody, because we all know that long term, if you try and work with everybody, that's not a good long term plan. So, but like I said, that was just not everyone thinks the same.
Miguel, welcome up here, honey. What you got to say, sweetie? And welcome to the panel.
Thanks. First off, Kylan, congratulations on your win against Darrell. I mean, that's a legend right there. I would have been geeking out just winning, being the only person so far besides Big T, but unfortunately she's gone. So being one of the only ones, I feel like you should have gotten immunity just because you beat a champ, but I'll digress.
It should be something. It should count for something. I agree.
Exactly. But I agree with you. I'm going to be honest, most of your cast, they're dummies. I don't know why they're allowing Jay and Michelle to run this season. I like Michelle personally, but the thing is that why are Raven, Corey, Ed, why are these people not banding together just to be like, we need to restructure this? It doesn't make sense. And personally, I know a lot of people are mad at Jay and Michelle. I can't be mad at them because they're controlling a bunch of dummies
Facts.
and they're getting away with it, and people know about it. So it's just a whole lot.
No, well, thank you for what you said, but yeah, I agree. I mean, it really. That's why, like, I was just like, yo, they're. That's the thing that I like to distinguish too. Is like, scared and smart aren't antonyms. Like, somebody can be a path of least resistance. It doesn't make it necessarily dumb. It could be depending on like how involved you get and how many people, but of course, like if they have a bunch of people who don't know how to play games and are just easily influenced, then they're easily influenced by someone that they know and have some sort of relationship with, that like it's really hard to explain. Like maybe you'll see people play, it's like, oh, they only played one season together or whatever. Like one season is a lifetime. Like these are all not even just trauma bonds, but like deeper than that. These are like when you play a game with somebody, it is such a deeper bond than the typical relationship when you spend that same amount of time with somebody in real life. And so they have Jay and Michelle have played with almost every single person that's in the house. So they have that bond. And so you add that bond with the fact that like they actually know how, like, have some sort of strategic thinking. That is enough for people to latch onto. And then the format of this game is as such that because we're facing champs, there's no actual repercussions for sending someone into elimination, because either they go home or they come back and have very limited power, because as we've seen, like you can win daily, but more than likely, statistically speaking, the numbers are going to be as such that that shot still can't go against Jay and Michelle because they have so many ties in the house. And if you're part of that majority alliance, you're like, well, I can stick with this majority alliance because, like I just said, there's no repercussions to sending in these people.
Okay, so watching the episode, because you don't know what editing is, obviously, and when you watch it at the same time as us, all the little comments tonight. I know you're such a chill person. I know it doesn't affect you, but I'm just saying as a human, sitting back watching it, all the comments, oh, I want Kyland. I want Kyland. I'm a winner. So I was like, damn, why is everybody on Kyland back? So watching it at home, like, how was that to see it? You know what I'm saying?
Flattering. I mean, it's like I don't prepare to do anything less than to be good. Like I know I can't necessarily be the best at anything, so I try and be as good as I can at as many things as I can. So when we're talking and Jay says, and he says like, well, how do you feel about like us? He's like, threatened. I'm like, well, you should. I mean, I work really hard to make that a reality, and so that's why it's also tricky whenever people are commenting like, yo, why don't you get all the strong people out? Why don't you get all the strong people out? The last thing I want to do is rally the house to target their biggest threats. Like, obviously they're already doing it, and so now there's nothing I can do about it. But like, I don't want that ethos going around the house. Like, yo, the best decision is to get rid of my allies. Like, the same reason you don't see Jordan running around. I'm not Jordan, but that's like my admiration. My inspiration is to get to that level of competitor. And I'd like to think that I am there or could be there, but like, I don't have the resume to prove that. So I'm not going to talk that game. But you don't see him running around like, yo, we got to get out the strong people. We got it, because like, that's him. So I don't know. It's just kind of like I said, I'm not there, but I'm striving to be as good as I can. So, that's the goal.
That's a good goal. That's a good mentor. That's actually good, because the way, even with the way you played tonight, has proven that you way on your way. Again, the only one to actually be a champion. And what did he say? You didn't even look like a champion. Now,
That was rough to see, but I get it.
I like the real, but he ate his words right there.
I was like, bro, what? I was like, damn. But I mean, I know you probably took it as like, it is what it is. But I did smoke you tonight. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I know you don't take that stuff in no crazy way. But you look really like tired at the end of it.
Oh my
You said you couldn't
God.
feel your arms or anything. So tell me, was it really that rough? It looked really bad to me. You were sweating, so you couldn't feel your arm. I said, damn.
Yeah, that was a tough. It really is hard to explain what that thing was like, but you're balancing a very heavy weight with your legs, and it's like in constant tension. So you just have it's like holding a quarter squat for an hour, because that thing is very heavy. So you're just trying to maneuver it in a way that lets, and it's so delicate that movement. They had to we had to like reset because there was like wind blowing the fire, there was things, so it just was like really tough, because also the oil would dry out because it was just taking us that long. I'm very curious of how long we were actually out there. It had to be an hour or it had to be more than an hour, and so yeah, like I said, you're just holding a quarter squat for for a few hours while trying to make micro adjustments as well, and it was just tough. Like it was. I was lucky. I think not lucky. I'm lucky slash benefited that I'm good at like assessing things. So like I definitely was able. I think I was just able to create a plan a little bit faster in the sense of okay, like my very first thing is to like figure out how to move this wheel as soon as possible rather than try and light the first thing. So it was. I think that's kind of how I tend to attack things. Is like I know this might take a while, so let me familiarize myself with how this thing works, and then start going down into the movements. But that it was one of those things that definitely got harder along the way because the bowls would become less flammable if they weren't like the longer it took you to light them.
So TJ telling you he was proud of you, I know it was a moment. He don't say that often. So I caught that too. I caught that. I was like, oh my God. I know for him it's like, what?
Oh my
Because everybody
god.
wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear TJ say, I'm proud. Literally, I think he really, really was proud because even though TJ's on the house, he was knowing what's going on. He know the T. He just doesn't say it. But I know he knows what's going on. And so it was just a moment. It was a moment. So I know you feel like you accomplished something really big tonight. And so you should feel really proud of yourself, Colin. You really should.
Thank
I think
you.
that, I said this earlier too. You weren't here. I said you were part of a really important thing, the cookout. And I feel like that I had been waiting for you to kind of, I don't want to say break away from that. So part of your history forever, but to kind of see you do your thing, is amazing. Is what I really am. You know what I'm saying? Happy that we're able to see you coming out here, showing what you can do outside of that beautiful thing y'all created.
No, I really
So do
appreciate
you
that.
agree with
Yeah,
that?
I really appreciate that. Yeah, because it is like the cookout such a huge part of like it has such a huge legacy, and to be a part of that is truly like the honor of a lifetime. So it's never something I want to move away from. But it is so significant that I'm competitive. I want to without ever overshadowing it. I want to also branch out into additional things, and being able to get this win feels like a step for sure in that direction. And yeah, and so I mean, I want to, it's an extension for into more honors.
So as far as in the house, I know that you, Jay and Horatio, was there anybody else that you kind of was aligned with besides those two?
It was those two girls when I first came in, Olivia and Reese, and Michelle was part of
Okay,
that,
so
by
right.
extension. Yeah.
So as far as watching it today, do you feel like that Jay, even though Jay did what he did, do you think it was not necessarily a portrayal, or do you agree with him when he says it was that time? I heard you say it too. I'm not sure if you said the same thing, but he was saying it's that time of the game. Like when you,
I mean,
I don't know what he meant. I mean, I kind of do, but
it's tricky because it's like it's not like it all comes down to like conversations and relationships. And so it is a betrayal of the commitment they made to us because they didn't show. We actually had to sit down. It was me, Jay, Nerese, and Olivia. And Michelle and Rossio weren't there, but they were included in the conversation, because essentially Nerese and Olivia were like, we could speak for Rossio and Michelle could speak for Jay. So, or sorry, Jay could speak for Michelle is what we thought. And we were just like, yo, like this is the core, right? Like this is the core over everything else. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, so I'm one that doesn't really need to check in. Do I need to check in with you guys? do we need, this actually happened right after me and Horacio did Emmanuel, because when we nominated Emmanuel, everyone, like, that episode is annoying to watch. And I think I tweeted about it because everyone was like, oh my gosh, I don't know why you picked Emmanuel. I'm like, I literally talked to them all, almost every American before that vote, and was like, hey, are you guys cool with Emmanuel? And they're like, oh, like, I was kind of thinking James and Callum, but like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I asked Michelle, I said, like, yo, who are you thinking? She's like, as long as it's not Callum, I'm good. Or Jay, of course. And I was like, yeah, of course, that's fine. Granted, she did say afterwards that she didn't realize I was considering Emmanuel, and she would have said something if she did. But for me, like, I take people at what they say. And she said, as long as it's not Callum or Jay, it's fine. So that's what I thought. And I remember I asked Olivia, I asked Reese, I was like, yo, are you guys maybe not Reese, I don't remember for sure, but I asked for sure the rest of the Americans, like, yo, and the only downside there was that Horacio just didn't realize how, like, where I was with him maybe at that moment, because it was so early, and so he thought that it was a 3-person decision. And I was trying to be considerate of Big T because just, you don't want to be disrespectful to somebody. But game-wise, I knew, I was like, no, whatever me and Horacio want is what we're going to do. Like, it's 2 to 3. And he kind of didn't realize that because I was using language to be more considerate and inclusive. So he thought that he had to kind of fall into that. So I was like, okay, guys, I don't want to be right after the decision was made was when everybody all of a sudden had a vocal opinion and was like, oh, actually, I really didn't want that. It's like, okay, you actually should have said something when I asked you. And so let's not do that again. If you guys want to make team decisions, let's make team decisions. So that's why we sat down. I sat down at least with those people. I was like, this 6 is the 6 for sure. And so Jay was there. He said, absolutely, I don't need to check in. I'm good. I'm locked in on this. I was like, bet, me too. Bye. And so, yes, it is a betrayal of that. But then that's the thing about these games is it's all kind of subjective because it's like a betrayal of that is an exercise in loyalty of the relationships with other people. So it is, it's like, yes, but it depends on your perspective.
Okay, so the thing with the Emmanuel, that whole situation, he seems pretty just kind of nasty to you. I understand. I mean, he just does. And you really handled it pretty well as far as what I've seen. You haven't really fed into it. He seems to feed into it. So watching that, did you know that some of the things he was saying under his breath? Was you aware of it?
Honestly, no. I think that I came in with a lot of respect for Emmanuel's game because I really liked his performance on his season, Spies, Lies, and Allies. I was like, yo, like me and I also talked about him. We're like, yo, this dude might be like the real deal. Like him, Kieran, and Ed were like some of the people we looked at. We're like, these guys are like performers. They came to play because we knew we came to play and we thought they did too. And Emmanuel probably at the top of that group. And so then kind of I noticed, not really necessarily seeing him perform a whole lot and in any sort of standout way, like not like, terrible, but just nothing stand out. So, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird because it all depends on what it is. Like him saying things, I don't know if that's him being super serious. I don't know if it's him being dramatic or playful because he's, a dancer, he's a performer. When I've talked to him, it's been fine. So like, is this just him for TV or is this him, having some sort of beef with me that I'm aware of? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But for me, like, I don't have any animosity towards him because nothing has gotten to this crazy level for me. It's more just like, all right, like he's not an ally to me in the game, and that is what it is. But the personal conversations that we had were always pretty good. So, yeah, I wouldn't speak more on that until I get to talk to him. But for me, like I'm just not one to say nasty things about people. At least, I'm not perfect, but at least as much as possible because it's just not really the energy I want to put out.
I love that. But Kylan, I want you to understand this. You are in this champion space and hold on, let me say, bro, you literally took out a champion tonight. And so you really have put a statement out there where like, I'm a champion. You literally are a champion. It hasn't happened yet, but you give me that. That's the vibe. So understand that you are a threat.
Yeah.
So this is going to happen. a lot more going on. Even next season, you go on there and say, "Oh, he took Darrell out." It's going to follow you in your challenge career. I mean, I'm just saying. So it's going to be a lot more of that. Chief, you got your hand up. Chief, what you got to say, King?
Thank you.
I was gonna ask Kyle, when are y'all shooting the reunion? Or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to say though, like, bro, if I was you at the reunion, no, I would go so crazy.
Oh man, there's just so much more. Oh gosh, yeah. I'll say I'm looking forward to it.
Wait a minute. Not the silence and then the ooh.
Yeah.
I love that response. It's almost like he's got his hands. I'll just wait and see. But Kyland is not really. I can
Yeah.
see him being quiet while the stuff is going on. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest.
No. I'm
Unless he
not like
really,
yeah. My coming for
right.
people is way different than everyone else's. I will say it's typically less dramatic, but then sometimes it's funny because I say stuff and I don't even think it's going to be that big of a deal, and then it is, and it cracks me up.
No, because Kyland, because you do it. You do what I do sometimes too. It's an intelligent shade where it's like I don't have to yell or anything, but I can still take your soul without, saying.
Yes,
You do that. You have a way of
exactly.
doing. You understand? We're on the same page. You don't have to do all that. I can do both. Well, man, this has been such a pleasure to have you come through. We have had such a mismatch. Me and Colin's history is like insane, but he's been very supportive of my brand for the past couple of years, actually. So I support him what he does, and I'm just so proud of him tonight, and
Thank
so
you.
happy he got to pop in finally and talk to the people and everything else. So, Blood Money, you got anything you want to say to Colin? Blood Money, you there, baby? Okay, maybe it's figuring out. I'm not sure.
Well,
So,
Hang on, hang on, hang on. I want to say one last thing. Kylan, are you afraid to go against the likes of Brad and CT? Because we know Brad and CT are coming up next. So if you can beat,
I mean, I'm a big believer in like to be the best, you gotta be the best. To be a champion, you gotta be a champion. So I mean, I want to like that's the thing is I want to win against as many people as possible in as many scenarios as possible. I think that's and for me, it's not like about ego as much as it is about like some people strike out because some people like I always look at Goku and Vegeta. If you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, like Vegeta wants to be better than everyone else. Goku's just curious, how good can I be? And that's kind of where I find myself is like, how good can I be? And usually the best way to find out is testing yourself against strong people. And so that's just kind of where I want to go. And obviously, it can bite me in the ass at times. But for me, I'd rather live my life that way because inside and outside of this game, I think ultimately that's just who I am.
Chief, you got any
okay.
final words for Colin? Thank you, bud. Chief, you got any final words?
No, I'm just happy to see how the rest of the season plays out. There's a few people I really want to leave, and I hopefully I have predictions for the season. I think want to go. Kylan, keep doing you. I hope you still talk to some of the channel. Who do you still talk to like outside the channel? So, like,
I don't like block anyone. I'm not opposed to talking to anyone, but as far as who I talk to most regularly, I mean, Horacio and Reese, we really just locked in. Those are my like people forever.
Oh, I love that.
Mi
That's awesome.
hermano.
Not that he won't block nobody, but he said he won't block nobody. I said, oh my god. But then see, kind of like that. He's super chill. He's like I said, I would be the one to kind of like kind of back up. I got you. I got it. Don't worry about it. You ain't gotta yell. I'm gonna do it for you. He's like that from like a little brother. Like I got you. Don't worry about it. Because like I said, he's such a gentleman. He's so chill and he likes to handle things. His vibe is super positive. He just does it, and I love that about him. So I'm looking forward to seeing your future. You are a champion, in my opinion. I feel like that you exude that, especially tonight. And so, I see you taking it, even after this. So you are a threat to many, and they should look at you that way going forward. Okay. So maybe, hopefully, you come on after the reunion. Hopefully, you can come through and say a few words. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get a little messy there. But thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for coming through tonight. We'll be back next week. With all that being said, I'll talk to y'all next time.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.